Till now, we have learned some fundamental concepts from Python. Now this is the time to put that knowledge to work. If you are new to our channel, myself Omkar Pawar, and I am a data science enthusiast, and this is a playlist for Python for data science. If you have not checked out our previous videos, I encourage you to go out and see that videos from our playlist, because in our today's video we are going to use what we have learned so far in to solve some practical questions. So without further delay, let's begin with the video. Let's begin with our first question. So whenever you tackle any question, first understand what is it and break that question down into smaller to-dos, so it's easier for you to understand what you have to code actually. So let's read our first question. Write a program that takes a list of integers. So first, what thing will be the first thing to do is create a list. So I will just break it down so it can be more easy to understand for you. So first task will be create a list. That's it, nothing special. So let's see what is going to be next thing. List of integers as a input and output only the even numbers in the list using a for loop. So what we have to do, we have to use a for loop. Let's see. So we have to use a for loop, and what we have to do, output only the even numbers. Output only the even numbers using a for loop and if else statement. So to output only the for loops, what we will use? We will use if else. Okay, so this is going to be basic structure of our code, and now we will do actual coding for that. So for now, let's create a basic list as, let's say, my list. You know, lot of time what I do, waste too much time for thinking what should be the variable name. That is a good thing to do actually. So your code becomes more readable for other people also. So what we will do, we will just create a list from 0 2 3 4 4 5 6. I think I have not enabled the autocomplete, otherwise I don't have to write the repetitive code like this. So I forgot to write 1, sorry for that. Here we go. From our next video I will enable the autocomplete, so I don't have to write the boring code again and again, same things. So it's pretty boring, you know. So what we will do, we will create a for loop here. So for that for loop, what we will give, so for I element in our my list, what we want our code to do, we want our code to repeat. I have to give here indentation so it can be easy. So inside that for loop, we will use our if else condition to check if that our integer is what was the condition? Even numbers, for the even number, if our integer from this list is even or not. So we will use if. So what is the condition? Like if the remainder is 0 after dividing by 2, then what we say, that the number is even. So let's try that. Let's take our number I, then we can use, as you know, the modulus operator here 2, and if we get the output as 0, then that means our number is going to be the even number. So and what output we want is that only even numbers. So what we will do, in that only case we will print the number. otherwise our numbers will be not printed. If you see, we are getting output as 0 2 4 6 8. So congratulations for solving your first question. Isn't it that much easy, right? So when you are going to try, you may face some issues, like you may forget to give this indentation. Let's see what happens. If there is no proper indentation, what will happen? You will get an indentation error. Let's try it out. So VS Code is an IDE, so it is a code editor, and it is giving you some error in advance, that it is saying expected indented block. So it is already giving you alert there is something wrong with the code that you have written. So let's check it out and let's see what we get as our error. So it says indentation error, expected an indented block after 4 statements on 4 line. So it is also giving us the line number. So what we can do, basically go there and hit the tab button, and here also hit the tab button. So we have given the proper indentation now, and inside that for loop only this code will loop for the number of elements we have in our my list, and we will have our desired output. So that was our first question. Now let's go to our second question. So let's see what is our second question. Write a program that calculates the factorial of a given number using a while loop. Here what we are like, we have to take a user input. So what we will say, we will break this task down first. So we will say take a user input to calculate a factorial. Okay, that's too much. I'm writing too much, so that much it is not needed that much. After that, what we will do, we will use while loop here, and after that what we will do, we will calculate the factorial, and we will basically what we will do, then print that result. So we will take the int our variable, let's say num, and what we are going to do, we are going to take user input, and our number can be anything. So we will first have to convert that number into an integer, right? So we will convert that by using the int, and inside that we will take a input from our user, enter a number to calculate factorial. Okay, so we are getting a user input and we are storing that inside one variable. Now what we will do, we will create a while loop. While our number is going to be greater than 0, at that time what we have to do, let's see step by step what we are going to do. First, what is a factorial? So understand what is a factorial. Factorial means, like if you take a factorial of 4, then factorial of 4 means 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So that is a 4 factorial. So how can we calculate a factorial for the given number? So what we will do, first we will consider 1 factorial as a 1 factorial. Let's see. So factorial, so we will set the default value as 1, because any number that we multiply by 1 is ultimately going to be that number itself, so it is not going to affect our multiplication, isn't it? So what we will do, we will create a new factorial. Just watch it closely, and what we are going to do, we are going to multiply it by the reduced number each time. So our factorial is going to be into num, and when we are going to multiply that, then what we will do, we will create a different num. So that num, what we will do, we will reduce 1 from it. So we will reduce this one num, For now, consider that we are going to enter our number as 4, right? Our number 4 will come inside this while loop, and when it come inside the while loop, it will check for this condition: is number 4 greater than 0? Of course it is greater than 0, right? So what we will do, we will multiply or factorial, sorry, I have to keep here. I think that will be fine, so there will be no issue. So what we will do, we will multiply this factorial with the number, and we will save it inside this variable. Actually what this short code means is, basically this is going to happen inside this code. Okay, so just for to make sure you understand, I am writing this here. So what will happen now, once we have multiplied that factorial, then what we are doing, we are reducing that factorial, sorry, here with 1 each time. So the next time our number is going to be one number less than the previous one, so our number will become 3. Same thing will be repeated, just in this process, just in this way, 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, that will happen. And when our number is going to be 1, at this point it is going to reduce. 1 minus 1 is going to be 0, and our condition is going to be false, and we are going to break out of our while loop. So as I told you in our previous video, that it is important to remember, that it is important to make sure that we are going to break out of your while loop at a certain point. Otherwise you will stuck in an infinite loop, your code will keep running. So we have written, and what we will do now, so now I will print the result of that. So at the end I will print the factorial. Let's see how it goes. I am going to enter the number 4. So for number 4, what is the factorial? It is 24. Now let's see our third question, what we have here. Let's break it down as we did for our previous questions. Write a program that takes a dictionary. So what is our first thing priority to do to create a dictionary? So create a dict, okay, of students' name and their grades as an input, and output the students who have passed the class, defined as having a grade of 60 or higher. So here what we have to do, basically we have to just create a dictionary, we have to iterate that dictionary, and then what we have to do, we have to check for one condition, that if that student have gained 60 marks, or if that person have gained 60 or greater than 60, then that person is passed. Otherwise we have to declare that student as a failed one. Okay, then let's try to see how we can tackle this our problem. So first we will create a dictionary. Let's see. So I will say score. Okay, inside a score. So for a dictionary, as we know, we need a key and value pair. So I will give just, these are not basically students' name, but for just clarity I am just giving some random marks to it. So the student B have gained, let's say somebody gained 60. Okay, somebody gained 0, no 0. Okay, 97, that's great. And the fourth student gained somewhat around 83. Okay, so A student failed. Mostly A student gets the good marks. In our class it is little bit reversed. So this is our dictionary. We have created a dictionary separated by commas with a key value pair. So what we will do now, we will take it as an input. So but my question is that, pause this video for a moment and think about which loop will be best suited here, as they have not given us which loop to use for. But right now you have a dictionary and you want to use that as your input and check for a condition. For checking a condition, definitely you will use if else, but what loop you will use here in this scenario? Pause this video and think about it. You got that right. So we will use for loop in this scenario. So let's create a loop here. So for I. Let's loop through our dictionary, that is a score. So when we do that, let's see what we get. Let's try to print. What am I going to get? So what it is giving me is basically keys of that dictionary. Basically it is just giving the student's name. Okay, so we are getting student's name, but to actually calculate a student's mark, what we have to do, we have to take this key and I will just comment it out so you can check it later. You can see the overall approach to the question. It's not like we definitely like we randomly come up with a solution immediately. We just walk through that problem, and as we walk through, we tackle that each aspect of that each problem. These questions are very easy, but these basic stuff that you are applying here, you are going to apply the same things to the big problems, more complex topics in future. So let's now, for now, we will use this key to get a score. So I will say, okay, I will keep things easy for now. Marks equal to, so from our dictionary I want a value for our key A, so it will give me the marks. Okay, after I get a mark for student, so what I will do, I will compare it with our value, that is 60. So I will say if marks are greater than, I can also write equal to here, greater than or equal to t, then what to do? If my marks are greater than or equal to 60, then print function. I will use functional statement here. Print I got marks, you passed the exam. Okay, that's fair enough, right? You get the good marks and you are passed. And what if you don't get that much marks? Then we will definitely just only use else. There is no need to use elif, because we have to check only one condition here, and if that condition is not satisfied, then the student fails, sadly. Have you ever failed in an exam? I did. It don't feel very well. So I will again say I got marks. There is something wrong. We found one bug without even facing it. Marks, you failed the exam. Okay, so basically I think that this should work. You never know unless and until you run your code. Let's see who passed and who failed. Oh wow, all of the students failed the exam. Wait a minute, there is something sketchy going in our code, Pause this video and let me know if you find a bug in our code. There is one mistake that we have made. Actually, I have not made that mistake intentionally. This mistake happened from me, but let's see if you can find that mistake. Yeah, you guessed it right. While giving this score, what we are giving, we are only giving one key here, and that is A. What we should be giving is that our element as I. So each time it is going to iterate through each key, not just one key. Let's see what happens now. Now we have the results. Now let's see our fourth question. Now we are doing really great, and you are also learning to fix your bugs and the errors from your code. So let's see our fourth question. Write a program that takes two lists of numbers as input and output, the number that appears in both lists. What we have to do? Create two lists. Okay, create two list of numbers of integers. Okay, integer. Okay, that will be our first task, and as an input and output the numbers that appear in both list. So what we want to do here, we basically want to find common elements from both of the lists. If we have like sets, then we can use some functions from the set, as we know that we can find the union, intersection, lot of things we can do with the set. But here what we have to do, we have to use our fundamental knowledge that we have learned so far, and we have to tackle this issue. So in this scenario also we will use for loops, as we have something iterable to iterate over. So list is iterable object, so we will iterate over it. So what we will do here, we will use one operator, membership operator, we call it in. So let's see how we can do that. For I in, let's say just like both lists have the same numbers. So what we can do, list 1, we will iterate over it. For I in a list 1, what we will do, we have to check why dogs are barking. It's the night time, you know. If I in a list 1, who lets the dogs out? Whoa, whoa. For I in list 1, if let's say if I in, I'm using in here, but this in is for part of the for loop, and this if and this in is, it is a different, this in is membership operator. If you see the color difference here, if I in list 2, basically this is what we want to check, if the element in list 1 is part of the list 2, and if that is true, then what we want, we will just print it, if that is a part of this number. So let's see what we get. So here we go, it's that easy. Basically we can create like a separate list and append it. That will be not that much difficult to do. So this is the way, by using the here membership operator in, we are checking if the one element from list 1 is a part of list 2 or not. So let's see what is our question. Write a Python program that takes a set of strings as input. Okay, set of strings as input and outputs the length of each string in the set. Okay, so we have to deal with a set in this scenario. Let's create a set, or let's say my set, my list, my set, whatever. Okay, we have 4 names as our strings, and we have created our set here. So first thing is done. Let's see the second thing, what we have to do. We just basically have to calculate the length of these strings and print it out. So it is not difficult task to do. So what we will do, basically create a loop for I in my set. So for I in my set, what we have to do, basically print length of I think that will do it. So that's it, that was our task. We can do that, but this output don't look that much good to me. So what I will do, I will create an empty dictionary, and I will then try to do some things, try to spice it up little bit. So what I will do, I will create name dictionary. So whenever we create empty dictionary, we will give curly braces. After that, what I will do, I will append that dictionary with its key. Let's see, name, that I, the Omkar, these strings are going to be the key for my value, and after that the length of that element or the length of that string is going to be its value. So we will create a key value pair this way, and so at the end we will print our dictionary name. So let's see how the output looks like. So this looks much better, right? Rather than just having some numbers as our output, we are having a key value pair, so we can know which value is for which string. So Raj have 3 strings, 3 letters in it, Nandini name have 7, Omkar have 5, and Aparna have 6 letter in it. So this is the right way to answer. So that way, so see, to approach one solution there are multiple ways, so it's really interesting to see. I have also given some few more examples here down here for your own practice, so you can try on your own, you can face some errors on your own, so you can evolve, you can learn from your mistakes. So as you go through it, it is going to be really exciting. You just have to put the knowledge that you have learned till now into the work, and that is going to be really awesome. And when you are going to practice these questions, you will feel like you have mastered the concepts and you will never forget these things. So how was your experience while solving these questions? Have you faced some errors? It's great, congratulations. There you have it, your chance to improve from your own mistakes and learn from them. Why don't you share your code with everybody else also? So you can put your GitHub repository link for these exercises, so others can also see, and especially I can also see your approach to solving these questions. It is really interesting to see how different people can come up with a different ways to solve a same problem. So make sure if you solve your questions, then you will put your repository link inside the comment section below. For now, let's wrap up this video. Let's meet in our next upcoming video. So till then, keep smiling, keep coding, and let's see the bright side together. See ya.